Good morning, class. My name is Seth Murray, and I am taking statics with Professor Kummerl. And today I'll be going over my discussion for post, and I will be using this bookshelf as my structure. As you can see, this is not a typical vertical bookshelf, but it's actually more of a lean-to ladder style bookshelf. You can see on the floor that we have forces reacting upwards and to the right. And then we have also forces reacting against the wall. But also you can see here that because the shelves touch the wall, there are also forces reacting there as well, along with the weight of all the items that are on the bookshelf going downward. So I went ahead and sketched the dimensions of the front view of the bookshelf, showing the spacing between each of the shelves, along with the overall height, and then along with the width as well. I went ahead and drew a side view, not for my free body diagram, but just to show what the distance of the base of the bookshelf leg is from the wall. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw my free body diagram. And so I'm going to draw the wall first, and then I'm just going to do in blue the shelving unit that goes up here at an angle. And then I have 5 shelves total that go like this. 3, 4, and 5. So first I'm going to draw my forces acting on the base. So I have an upward force along the y-axis here. And then I have a force along the x-axis pushing towards the wall here. So I'll do F of x here. And then I have a normal force pushing against the wall onto the edge of the top leg of the bookcase. I'm just going to label that N. And then I also have forces that are acting along each of these shelves here. And for purpose of the video, I'm just going to label these all N 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then lastly, I have the forces, the weight from each individual bookshelf going down. And this is the free body diagram for the bookshelf. So to answer some of the questions that were brought up in the discussion rules, I determined the measurements of my structure using a tape measure and just measuring each individual aperture on this structure. The purpose of this free body diagram is to show the forces acting on the bookcase, and it could be used, I believe, to determine the total allowable load that's allowed onto the bookcase. For my free body diagram, obviously I already went over that, but just to sum it up, I drew my structure first and then figured out all the forces acting on that structure from our previous lessons. And then lastly, some of the challenges that I was running into is wondering whether or not the shelves resting against the wall had a reactive force, and then just common sense told me that it does because they are actually resting against the wall. So that would mean that there is some force from the wall pushing on the bookshelf. So that would have a force. And then I also was wondering whether the item on the shelves get their own weight, or I take the sum total of the weights that were on the structure. But I determined that each shelf and each item on that shelf is its own independent weight. This concludes my Module 4 discussion post. Thank you all for listening.